afternoon, everybody. Mike Roybal here with IT Colorado. I'd like to welcome you to our live stream today on multi-factor authentication and its importance for your business. I'd also like to mention that today is the first day of Cybersecurity Awareness Month. If you would like to be added to our Cybersecurity Awareness Month tips and tricks, please either message me or respond to this video with your email address, and I will get you added. So there will be 30 days of tips that you can use for you, your staff, or that you can send out to your customers as well. So without any further ado, let's get started. Again, I am Michael Roybal. I own and operate IT Colorado here in Northern Colorado in the Loveland area, specializing in managed IT services and special focus on security and cybersecurity. So we're going to talk about multi-factor authentication. Let's talk about what it is. So MFA is a security system that requires more than one method of authentication to verify a user's identity. And it's based on the principle of something that you know, something that you have, and something that you are. So something that you know, this is typically a password or a PIN, and it's basically the first line of defense, but it can be vulnerable if it's weak or if you're using the same password or PIN across multiple sites or multiple devices. Then there is something that you have. This could be a smartphone, could be like a hardware or a security token, or a smart card that you plug in. These are physical devices. They generate a time-sensitive code or a one-time passcode, and they do provide an additional authentication factor. And then, of course, there is something that you are. So this involves usually biometrics like a fingerprint, facial recognition, voice recognition, some sort of biometrics that are unique to each individual, and they provide a high level of security as well. So by combining two or more of these factors, MFA makes it that much harder for unauthorized people to access your accounts, even if one of the factors is compromised. So let's talk about, why MFA is so important. And let's talk about the rising threats that are happening in cybersecurity today. Data breaches and identity theft, they're becoming increasingly common. You see it in the news almost every single day. And in 2023 alone, there were over 1,000 data breaches exposing millions of personal records. Here are some key reasons why multi-factor authentication is crucial. One, protects against phishing. So even if attackers happen to get your password through phishing, they still need the second factor to access your account. It's also a defense against keyloggers. This is malware that records keystrokes that can capture passwords, but they cannot typically capture biometric data or codes that happen to go to a separate device. It also mitigates password weaknesses. So many people that use weak or reused passwords, MFA adds a critical layer of security, although it may be a little bit of a headache if you're getting attacked with what they call password fatigue or multi-factor fatigue. So passwords alone, they are not enough. They can be easily guessed, they can be stolen, they can be cracked. According to a study, 81% of data breaches are due to weak or stolen passwords. And by adding this extra layer of security, multi-factor authentication significantly reduces the risk of unauthorized access. So how does MFA work in practice? When you log into a service that uses MFA, you'll typically go through these steps. First, you're going to enter your password. So this is the first layer of security, and it's the one that's most familiar to users. Second, you're going to verify your identity. So after entering your password, you're going to be prompted to provide a second factor. This could be a code that's sent to your phone via a text message. It could be a code that's generated by Authenticator app, or a push notification that is sent to your phone, or a biometric scan like a fingerprint or facial recognition. And then finally, access is granted. So once you've successfully provided the second factor, you gain access to your account. Each step adds an extra layer of security, making it significantly harder for an attacker to breach your account. Now, there are different types of MFA methods that are available, each with its own advantages and use cases. Let's first talk about SMS-based verification. This is a code that is sent to your phone via text message. And this is convenient, but it can also be vulnerable to SIM swapping attacks. And a SIM swapping attack is when somebody basically tricks the phone company into replacing the SIM on your account to a SIM that is on their account. And therefore, they can now access your text messages and things that are coming in. Second type of verification is email-based verification. So this is a code or a link that is sent to your email. And it's easy to set up, but it can also be compromised if your email account has been hacked. Then there are authenticator apps like Google Authenticator, Authy, Microsoft Authenticator. These generate time-based one-time passwords. They're also called TOTPs. And these are more secure than SMS as they don't rely on your phone number. There are also hardware tokens. These are physical devices, such as a YubiKey that generates codes. They provide high security, but they require you to carry the device with you. Then your security needs and your convenience. Often combining multiple methods can provide a robust security framework for your business. Implementing MFA is easier than you might think. Most major services like Google and Facebook and Microsoft, they all offer MFA options. Now, here are some quick steps to enable multi-factor authentication. Go to your account settings and look for the security or the login options. You can also find the MFA or two-factor authentication option. It might be under security settings or account protection. You can enable MFA or two-factor authentication following the prompts and setting up your preferred MFA method. And then finally, complete the setup. This might involve scanning a QR code with an authenticator app or setting up a biometric scan. It's a pretty straightforward process that can drastically improve your account security. And it also make sure to set up backup methods such as recovery codes in case you lose access to your primary MFA method. So while multi-factor authentication is highly effective, it does come with a few challenges. One is the convenience, and it can be seen as an extra step that takes time. However, the slight inconvenience is definitely worth the added security. Then there is the accessibility, and not everyone has access to a smartphone or biometric devices. Services often provide alternative methods like email or voice calls. There's also recovery, so losing access to your second factor can lock you out of your account, and it sometimes happens when you replace your phone. To avoid this, set up backup codes or additional authentication methods. And to address these challenges, many services do offer backup codes, alternate methods, and recovery options. It's important to understand and set these up to avoid being locked out. So once again, I thank you. If you'd like to talk with me or talk to my team, you can go to itcolorado.com/book-a-call, or you can message me with your email address as we'll get those cybersecurity tips sent out to you this month. Every day for the next 30 days, we'll be sending something out. I appreciate it. Thank you for your time. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.